Good morning. Welcome to Grace Moments from Grace Church of the Nazarene, Portage, Indiana. I'm going to turn on the light here. Beautiful Tuesday, 45 degrees. Could winter be over? We could only hope. This past Sunday afternoon and evening, we were able to relax. The opening ceremony of the Olympics for the winter were being televised. Sharon was watching some of that. I was watching two camp meetings from Florida, their evening services, one from Hobe Sound, Florida, the Sea Breeze camp meeting, the 79th year for that holiness meeting, and then from Avon Park, Florida, their closing service of their camp meeting, Reverend J.K. Warwick, former Nazarene pastor, general superintendent, now a camp meeting revival speaker, was the evangelist, and it was very interesting. He was talking about 6-word stories. I hadn't heard of that exactly, but he talked about some 6-word stories from his life, from other sources, and I'll share the two big ones with you in a moment. Here are some of the best 6-word memoirs. Hemingway, Ernest Hemingway, the author, these are his 6 words: for sale, baby shoes, never worn. Kind of a sad story of what happened there. Sums up the whole story. Here are some others. The key is laughing at yourself. 6-word story. They said it's impossible. It wasn't. Here's another. Heart aches from carrying a mattress. Here's another. That's the thing about hitting bottom. 6-word stories. Then Dr. Warwick preached from the 6-word story of the Apostle Paul from the letter to the Philippian church. For me, to live is Christ. That's a pretty good 6-word story, don't you think? For me, to live is Christ. And then Dr. Warwick, kind of autobiographically, shared he and his wife Patty's life of ministry and their plans for the future, even where they're going to be buried in Oklahoma. That was interesting. But he shared their 6-word story, and it was very moving. God called, said yes, no regrets. God called, said yes, no regrets. What is your 6-word story? I haven't written mine yet. I'd like to. I think I will. I'm going to work on that. Very succinctly, your tale. God called, said yes, no regrets. For me, to live is Christ. And then later that evening, I ran across, quite accidentally, the obituary of my high school best friend's father, who died at the age of 98, Friday last week in Newcastle, Indiana. He had been a mentor to me in my formative end of high school years. Spent a lot of time in their home because of my best friend, and preparing for ministry. And he asked me one time if I was going deeper, and I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about, but he said, "You can't go higher until you go deeper." And he was right. And I've tried to learn that lesson and remember it ever since, more than a half century ago. He was a wonderful man, pastored for 44 years in the Pilgrim Holiness and Wesleyan Church, several churches in Indiana, Indianapolis, Windfall, which is a small town in Tipton County, north central Indiana, Kokomo for 14 years at the Trinity Wesleyan Church, and survived by his 5 children and 13 grandchildren and 13 great grandchildren. A life well lived, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have a 6-word story. Want to give us some announcements for the week. The water damage done last week has been cleaned up thanks to our church custodians, and between 15 and 20 volunteers last week, and everything's put back where it belongs. And it was great to see the church clean and dry Sunday, and a good altar response at the close of the service. And that's why we're here. And I want to share that tomorrow morning at 9:30, our Ruth Circle Ladies Bible Study and Prayer Group will meet. They're off to a new start this calendar year, and some new momentum. We're grateful for them. Ladies, you're invited to that event. And then at noon tomorrow, our midweek prayer gathering, which is an online intercessory prayer time for the unsaved, the unchurched, our family members, friends, coworkers, neighbors, acquaintances, and some other prayer points that interest our church will be lifted up to the Lord as well. Then tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 6:30, in the Hearth Room, Family Life Center, where the ladies met in the morning, we'll meet. We're going to wrap up The Chosen that we've been viewing and discussing for several months. And we're going to talk about the disciples of Jesus, those who had been chosen, and their last days on earth. And it's an interesting study. And then at 7:30 is our sanctuary choir rehearsal. And we've missed way too many rehearsals this winter because of snow and flooding and all kinds of reasons. So choir members, join us. We're rehearsing for Sunday services. We've also started Easter musical material, which will be presented on April 5th, Resurrection Celebration Sunday. And we'd love for our choir members to join us, please, tomorrow night, 7:30. This coming Lord's Day, the 15th of February, there'll be an opportunity for families to take Valentine pictures in the children's zone before or after Sunday school, or between Sunday school and worship, or after worship. And I'm told it's a beautiful background, and it'd be nice to have family photos taken over the Valentine weekend. It's also President's Day weekend, and February has some good times coming. We gave $200 to the Super Bowl of Caring on Sunday, and that goes to First Contact in Porter County. It's an emergency relief agency, and we support them every year, especially with this Super Bowl offering. Thanks to those who gave to that. Looking forward to seeing you Sunday. God bless. Have a great week. Enjoy this beautiful Tuesday.